Hey everyone, how you doing? This is Amon Green, Gourmet Packers all-time leading rusher, and you're watching Packers Total Access Live, your daily source for Packer content. Go Pack, go!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome into Packers Total Access. My name is Clayton. You can check us out on Packernet.com. Find me on Twitter at Packers_access. Joined alongside Emilio in Tennessee. We got Jacob in Wisconsin here to talk about the Packers joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts. Got a lot of stuff to cover this evening. We're going to hit, like I said, the practice recap, both offensively and defensively. We got some injury updates as we've seen Jordan Love out there with the cast on earlier today. And then we got a little trade rumor that surfaced, and I don't know, man. It's been a little while since old little Ricky broke some news, but we're going to hit on it and see if there's any validity to it whatsoever. However, I need you guys to do that YouTube stuff for me. Take a quick second, hit that like, hit subscribe. Make sure you click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live. If this is your first time tuning into PTA, thank you for making us a part of your evening. We cover the Packers on a daily basis. Listen, we're not experts. We're not insiders. We're not media members. We're nothing. Basically, what we are fans just like you in here talking Packers 24/7. So if you're looking for daily Packers content, make sure you hit subscribe. And once again, thank you for making us a part of your evening. I see the chat is on fire, gang. I'm excited to see what everybody has to say about this little trade rumor here. I told Emilio, and I got one of these, Jacob. I said, Emilio, did you hear about this trade rumor? And he went,
come on now, Clay.
Hit me with that side eye. So, and yeah, I gotta admit, man, that's exactly how I responded when I seen it too. So let's get into it, man. You guys remember our good buddy that he went on a run for about 2 weeks. I think it was during free agency, right? Ricky Scoops. And I love how I about said a bad word, how crappy his graphics always are.
I was just gonna say
so much.
He's got a watermark. It's perfect. You can't even see through the thing.
Breaking news, wow. Breaking news, wow, breaking. All right. So anyway, some people look at this and they probably go, who is this guy, right? How many followers he's up to, first of all? Let's see here. 39,000. So this cat went on a little run breaking news where we were like, okay, who is he? And I remember asking you guys, do you think this is somebody within 1265 Lombardi? Because he had the info before anyone else, it seemed like, on the Jordan Love contract. I actually got a tip about the guaranteed money on Jordan Love's contract. I messaged little Ricky Scoops, and he said, yep, heard the same thing. So I went with it that night on the show, right? So he's got some kind of bead there. However, let's just get into it. The barking rumor, whatever that means. Even though I don't think he will be traded, the Packers have a very serious trade offer on the table to the Cowboys for Micah Parsons. All right. So let's get this out of the way. Do I think this will happen? No. Do I want it to happen? Not really. However, if they do pull the trigger on it, to me, it says they're probably going to do a restructure next year with Gary and then move on. That's how you could make that work, right, in terms of the salary cap. But if it was anybody other than Ricky Scoops and they had, less than 50,000 followers like Ricky does, I'd probably roll my eyes a little bit more. But he just hit on a few things. So what if there is a trade offer on the table from the Packers to the Cowboys? Let's go around the horn here one time. Do you guys think this is legit or no?
No, I don't.
Or you think there's no trade offer on the table?
I guess I should maybe rephrase it. I think that probably like most free agents, I think the Packers will give out an offer, one that would be completely reasonable for them, and someone that maybe an offer that would be almost out of the realm of possibility for the player, if that makes sense. And just because I feel like we've always talked about progress stoppers, how much capital we've invested in that position with LVN, guys like Kingsley, now with Sorrell. Obviously, we have Gary on the team, my boy Brenton Cox. It just seems like that those guys have earned their play, their positions, and it just seems very uncharacteristic. But I think if I understand now what Emilio was saying in the pre-show, it does kind of make sense for some Goody. If he is going to pull the trigger, he'd want to do it with a guy that is a proven blue chip guy, a guy that's still young enough that you can get him on a solid contract that he would be expected to play through and actually be a really high-end performer that whole time. So what are your thoughts, Emilio?
Yeah, 26 years old, 2 months, 19 days. That's Micah Parsons' age currently. I think Goody would be all over that right now. I mean, you've seen him. He's been in the league 4 years. You've seen what he can do. Imagine our defense, kind of surrounded around him. Imagine him opposite of Cooper. You got Quay. You got – it would be – I think of it like you bring in X, you bring in Jacobs, you bring in, Peppers, Woodson, that kind of a sort of a star player that's going to come in and be that difference maker. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think Coach Lynn said it earlier. Packers are in every conversation. That's the truth. Right. And I think, hey, if this is our bottom dollar, it would be like me walking into Home Depot and I pull the trigger on, the one yellow sticker item, right, Jacob? I'll get that one, but it's only for bottom dollar. And if they say no, I got to walk away. Right? You're not spending. But looking at the Cowboys' point of view, they're just probably going to throw that. The franchise tag on them and keep moving. They could do that for 2 years now. So I really don't see it.
Yeah, like you wouldn't drop $2,000 on a Mike Tyson fight, but we'll definitely pay $50 to watch Redneck Brawl. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Done deal. So again, the thing that got me kind of intrigued with the tweet, and again, it could be a couple of different things, really 2 or 3 different things. He could be lying about this, right? Whoever he is. We don't even know who Ricky Scoops is. What's so funny about this guy breaking news in the past is like, who the hell is this guy?
Where's Tim tonight? That's all I'll say.
Oh, cue up the conspiracy music. Is Tim actually Ricky Scoops? I will say this. If Tim was in the house and I said, Tim, what do you think about this? This would be his exact words. You ready? Stop it. Stop
He would say that.
That's exactly what he would say. But when it says very serious trade offer, though, that made me go, wonder what the offer was. If it's true and they laid an offer out there, what would a very serious offer be? Again, I would not hold my breath on this. If it had been anybody but Ricky Scoops that had tweeted it, I would have probably just not even talked about it tonight. But that dude just, I don't know, man. There's something he's got behind the scenes there.
Yeah, the chat has been throwing out a few trade proposals. I guess, Emilio, what would it take for this deal to make sense? Like, would it be a player and a pick and a couple picks? Like, to me, it would have to be somebody that they replace. So I hate even going here, but it would have to be like an LVN, like Afam's saying here, LVM and a third. I think it would even have to be higher than that. I think they'd probably want like a first or a second, maybe in Dobbs or something like that. What do you guys think of a possibility there?
They would definitely want he would want at least a first, potentially too. I would think, even if you kind of do move a player, I still think Jerry would be like, I got the fuel version. You can go ahead.
Like he would say it. Say it like he would say it.
I'm
got this. You've been in Tennessee long enough. Say it with the accent.
Yeah, can't you do it?
It's okay. It's okay. No, I think Jerry Jones is going to walk in there and say, give me 2 firsts and a player of said caliber. I just don't see it happening.
He said, give me 2 firsts in a groundhog cage, bub.
I just don't see it, man. I really don't.
Yeah, I don't either, man. But again,
right, his contract right now, what was he? He was average salary of $4.2 million. He had a signing bonus of 9.7, guaranteed as signed 17. He's basically been on the cap for 3, 3.8, 4.6, and 5.4. This year, the club option is $24 million. He would have to be getting. He probably wants 30 to 35 easy for at least 3 years. I mean, we're talking over $100 million.
I don't want that
to bring him right in. I would rate. I think our defense is good where it's at right now. I think we're going to grow into it this year.
Mm-hmm. All right, so there you go. We'll see if Ricky Scoops gets this one right or not. And again, if he ends up being traded somewhere else, we'll never know if he got it right. You know what I mean? So, William Herman in the chat says, Ricky's the same guy who said the Packers are working on an extension for Rasheed Walker like 4 weeks ago. Do we know that isn't true, though, William?
Right.
It's true.
They've been working with him on an extension, just like there could be an offer on the table for – it doesn't mean it's 3 first-round picks. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And he didn't say this trade is happening. He's saying there's an offer there. So,
right.
But anyway, we'll move it along. I just thought we would hit on it real quick and see. I want to get everybody's take.
Where would he even play though? I mean, like because they used him as a walk-up backer more or less. Are we playing him on the edge?
He started as a stack backer. Now they use him as an edge rusher. They have the last couple of years, to the best of my knowledge. So I think he would play edge personally.
Opposite of Rashawn?
Yeah. And, people say, well, we've already got LVN. We got Rashawn. We know how they like to rotate. And Rashawn's contract next year blimps a little bit more. The guaranteed money's pretty much gone, meaning you can get out of – you're still going to have a cap penalty if you moved on from Rashawn, but you would free up a lot of cap space. So if you could move on from Rashawn next year, pick up a younger, more productive version of an edge defender and free up that partial of that cap space, re-sign Micah Parsons to a 4-year deal, that's the only way I can make sense of it. The thought of keeping Rashawn, giving Micah Parsons anywhere from $30 to $40 million per a year, and you've got LVN, who he seems like he's absolutely blossoming this year, right? It's early in camp, but boy, oh boy, he put on another show today. People seen the mic'd up. If you ain't seen the mic'd up video of LVN throwing the hezzy on people, Lord have mercy, man. That dude, he's looking solid. So, again, that's why it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me unless you're willing to move on from Rashawn. So, if it were me and you go, okay, what would you be willing to give up? I wouldn't give up no more than a first-round pick. One first-round pick because we got to give this guy a huge contract. Look, he's already ticked off. I'm seeing the people say give Rashawn Gary, LVN a first-round pick and Romeo Doubs. I'm going, no, not me. If you want to give Romeo in a first, maybe get back a fourth or something, I'd probably be okay with that because I don't think they're going to extend Romeo Doubs. I could be wrong. Those are the players that are kind of primed for the trade, in my opinion. But then you look at it from the Cowboys standpoint. Will we rather take Romeo Doubs on the last year of his contract, and we may not even extend him, seeing that we've got CeeDee Lamb on that extension.
And they just brought in Pickens.
Yeah. I think you'd rather have a draft pick, you know what I mean? So an extra draft pick, I should say.
Yeah, and that's like Goody's looking at it as I spent all this time building this roster to get it to this point, and I'm gonna get rid of 3 of my players for one guy that I don't know, hasn't ever played in our defensive system. Not that he can't do it, I'm not saying that, but I mean, yeah, he's a first rounder, 12th pick. We brought in Isaiah Simmons. They're not the same player, but same kind of approach. Can I get a cheap version of a Micah? And I mean, I don't know. I think the Cowboys would definitely just tag him and keep moving.
If you think too, Jacob, I'll get your take here. But I was sitting there thinking, like, is there precedent for this in terms of a trade? No, not for Goody, right? But there is precedent for him paying top dollar for 2 edge defenders. We've seen that with Zadarius and Preston coming around free agency. Go ahead, Jacob. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
no, I was just gonna say it reminds me of that old kind of meme or whatever. It's like I want to. Can I get some Micah Parsons? And we got Micah Parsons at home, and then it's Isaiah Simmons. But I don't know. Like you said, there is precedent where we're wanting to pay 2, but I really do believe that. I just think that they're comfortable with the progress that LVN and Cox and Enigbare have showed, and that's not even now getting into the Baron Sorrell conversation. Like Amelia said, you've taken so much time, so much. Recruiting and scouting, and then the draft and the training for these guys that were kind of like your little projects, and you just want to throw them all down the pipeline so you can get a guy like Emilio said that is not tested and true in our system. I'm sure that he would do fine, but I'm a little too drunk to taste that chicken.
I completely understand. Wade Durbin says awesome content, gentlemen. Thank you, Wade. Appreciate you, man. Go ahead.
Do you think anything has to do with his agent being David Mulugheta?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, I do.
David Mulugheta is the new Drew Rosenhaus. Drew Rosenhaus in the late 90s, early 2000s was the super agent. Mulugheta is just crushing it, dude. He's the boogeyman right now for front office. Although Goody did say he loves working with Mulugheta. I remember him saying that about Jordan Love. Like, yeah, we got a really good working relationship with David Mulugheta and their agency and everything. That kind of makes you go, a little bit too, right, with this. But I don't know.
Dude, well, I got a conspiracy. David Mulugheta is Ricky, and all he does is throw out posts when he knows he's got a scoop, and then also when he knows he doesn't have anything, he wants to kind of inflate his client's stock, dude. That would be honestly brilliant.
We figured it out.
Got it. Sorry, Tim.
Soldier in the chat says, Hey guys from Australia. Hey, what's up, man? Thank you so much.
What time is it over there?
Let's put another shrimp on the bobby.
Oh
right?
boy. Yep, there it goes.
See, every time. This is why we can't have international friends, Jacob.
What time is it over there? Give me a wild guess right now.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, that is. I don't
It's
know.
yesterday, isn't it? It's yesterday. Yeah.
I would say it's. I'm gonna take the easy route here and just say I think it's 7 o'clock in the morning over there. What do you think?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're close.
Ooh, look at that.
Okay.
9:40.
I'll
Okay,
take that.
I like that.
Honestly,
Having a nice,
yeah, that's pretty much on the opposite side of the world. So
yeah, nice cup of coffee.
Yeah, it is. So I was wrong. I thought it was in the past. It's the future.
He's watching Good Morning. He's watching Good Morning Lambo right now. That's it.
there you go.
See?
Man.
All right, let's move it along. We've wasted so much time. Thank you so much for tuning in from Australia, though, Soldier. We appreciate you, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get into joint practice from today. We're going to start on offense, although that wasn't really the highlight of the day. We won't spend a whole lot of time on it because I really want to get in the defense, which they absolutely balled out. Obviously, this is a joint practice with the Indianapolis Colts from earlier today. Actually, let's do this. Let's lead off with the injury news, okay? Let's lead off. What is your all's prop?
No, sorry. Affam says he's beating Emilio in Madden in the future.
That'd be rough.
All right. Wes Aquit said Matt LaFleur said Jordan Love's thumb procedure went well, and they'll see how much he can do next week. QB1 isn't practicing today, but still doing his trademark handshakes with the running backs. I'm going to roll this along here. You see him out there with the guys, but you'll notice the left hand, boys. We got a cast out there. We got a cast on it, right? See it? You can turn around. He's hiding it pretty well right now. So he's got that thing casted up, and we'll hear from Jordan here in a second.
The white sleeve is a good call to hide the white cast.
Oh, yeah.
My man knows what he's doing. Yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Definitely. Ryan Wood said Jordan Love has his red number 10 practice jersey draped over his head and a cast over hood surgically repaired over his, I think he meant. I think he's been drinking today. Over his surgically repaired left thumb 2 days after his operation, not practicing today, but in attendance with the team. And then I wanted to get into what Jordan Love had to say. We got a couple of videos here where they were interviewing him. Let's see what Jordan Love had to say real quick. Shouldn't be too long-winded. Matt Schneidman tweeted this out. Jordan Love says he probably wouldn't have gotten away or gotten surgery if this was the regular season. Here we go.
So that was part of the debate is, whether you get surgery or you don't get surgery. If this is in the middle of the season, it probably would have been something that we didn't get the surgery on. But, with it still being early and I'm having time to recover and be fully ready for week one, the recommendation is for the surgery.
That's all I wanted to hear, boys. Fully ready for week one. So, again, he's not going to come out and go, I don't know, guys. I don't know if I'll be ready for week one. He's not going to say that, but I think everything is going as planned. This is all precautionary. As he said, I believe he said in another video too, might be right here, a couple of Jordan Love refers to the time he'll miss as a couple of days. He says he'll start practicing again next week. Now, he did say that if there had been a game, they would not have had it surgically repaired. Like if this was regular season, they would have just rolled with it. And it was something that they probably could have managed throughout the season. So what's your all's take on it? Jordan Love and the thumb injury here.
Well, you got it taken care of, right, Jacob?
Yeah, no, I agree. When Matt LaFleur was asked about it, they said, it's going to take him a couple of weeks to get into the groove. And he said he'll be throwing next week. So to me, that is, it's a little concerning to like Coach. I know Coach seemed like he was worried about it in a previous comment. And now he also said it. It doesn't look good or doesn't look like a couple of days. I think they're just being super overcautious, trying to protect that non-throwing hand. And I'm pretty confident, Coach, it will be kind of a nothing burger in the next couple of weeks. It'll kind of settle. And I could obviously be wrong. I'm not a doctor. You know that. But just the way that even Matt, Matt's usually very kitschy with the way he answers the reporters. He was straight up like, no, he'll be for throwing the ball next week. So if that's the case, I do believe that if this was mid-season, early season, end of the season, that he just gut it out. But why not get it done if you can,
Right. Some other injury news here. Emilio Matt Schneidman tweeted out, Jaden Reed is out of his walking boot but not practicing. He walks out to practice here in Westfield with Romeo Dobbs, Savion Williams, and Dontavion Wicks. All also not practicing. Christian Watson, obviously, out too. I don't know if you can see him walking across here, but he's out of the boot. Right there, you see him in the front leading the way. Do we notice a limp at all? Kind of does look a little limpy, or has he just got that swag? He might have.
Clay, I think that might be a little bit of swag. I don't know, man. I don't know. That's tough though. You see your top. I mean, you see, basically your top 4 receivers not here, right? I was thinking for a second, who's out there catching the ball for Malik anyway right now? Exactly. I mean, Matthew Golden's the only one out there. I mean, he is getting the reps in. He's running extra. He's got extra sprints. Dude's going to be conditioned at this point.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, I love it. We're getting into the body language now. We're getting into good stuff. He said, the video of our wide receivers walking down the field looked terrible body language. Call me an old man, but I didn't like the body language. There's the body language right there. Walking the mile. Remind you of. Now, listen, it's why we've got to look at the offensive side of practice today and go, okay, let's don't freak out here. They were missing a ton of people, right? Defense, however, boy, oh boy, that was a lot of fun to see those updates, and we'll get to that here in a second. So let me ask you guys real quick, and then we'll get into the overall injury report and then the offensive side of the practice. What do you guys think about Jaden Reed? Do you think he'll be ready week 1 or no? Emilio, go.
Yeah, I think he's going to be good to go. It's kind of like a Jordan Love thing, a little bit more time, but you have this week, finish up the rest of this week, you have next week, then you have another week off, right? And then we play the week after that. So, I mean, we still have almost 3 weeks till game time. I think we're totally fine.
What about you, Jacob? You think he'll be ready to go week 1?
Yeah, it's starting to make me a little more nervous than I wanted to initially admit. I mean, like we all just talked about, Dobbs, Reed, Wicks. It's getting tougher and tougher to kind of just smile through the news mill, the rumor mill, that sort of thing. But if anything, it would be more of like we don't want to force him back just to get him back, and maybe we feel more comfortable with the depth we have at wide receiver. I want to see Savion step up. Some of maybe these long shot guys like the Malik Heath, obviously Mecole Hardman, even a guy like Nair. I really am starting to like what he's done, and I just think that also it increases the likelihood that Bo Melton makes the initial 53 quite a bit, just for break glass in case of emergency type situations. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't a little nervous.
Right. We're going to hit this injury report, wrap this segment up here. Jason, I'm going to hit your super chat. I'll just keep it on the screen real quick. Just a quick rundown of the other injuries. Okay, Savion Williams is also not practicing today. Returning was Izzy Abanikanda with the hammy, so he's trying to get back into the fold there and potentially win a spot on that practice squad. Obviously, did not participate was Romeo Dobbs, Jordan Love, Zane Anderson, Xavier McKinney, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks, and Nate Hobbs. As those are all starters, right? Well, with the exception of Zane, those are all starters, correct?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. It's pretty impressive that the team did as well as they did on defense, in my opinion, without Xavier McKinney, without Nate Hobbs, right? Anderson obviously is one of those rotational guys when you get into the 2s and the 3s. So there's your injury report in its entirety.
I feel like if any of those were really that bad, they would be more worried about the wide receiver issue currently. Like Goody would be trying to do more to bring in wide receivers if they were actually worried about long-term things there.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. All right, so there you go. There's your injury report. Let's hit the super chat, and then we'll get on the offensive side of the ball. Jason Watt, thank you so much, buddy. He says, what do you make of Orlovsky's quarterbacks by trait chart? Jason, I seen that come through. I don't know if you guys seen it or not, but I seen it come through, and I didn't spend a whole lot of time looking at it. I peeped a couple of players on it, but I was listening to the McAfee show the day that they brought it up, and Dan Orlovsky sounded embarrassed by it. Like, it was just like he grades them by traits, right? And one of the traits is mechanics. It's like, okay, how does their mechanics look? Aaron Rodgers didn't make the top 10 in mechanics, and they roasted the hell out of Dan Orlovsky over. It's like, this guy is known as the greatest thrower of the football in the history of the game, and he didn't make the top 10 in mechanics. And Dan Orlovsky went, yeah, I really don't have an answer for that. So it's like, why? Who made you put this list together? And obviously, it's people at ESPN that did. So I don't put any stock in it at all, Jason, because I think that the large majority of the quarterbacks in the league, they have damn near top level traits on most of those traits, like mechanics and things like that, or else they wouldn't be in the league. Yeah, I'm a boring fan. I don't look at the league and go, boy, that's a bunch of there's a handful of good players and a bunch of bad players. I don't look at it that way. I look at the way Coach McCarthy used to say, there's no bad players in the NFL. You got good players and great players. And most of the time, the difference between a good and a great player is the position they're put in, the surrounding cast, the scheme. Does it fit what they do well? All those things, right? So I don't put a whole lot of stock in it. What do you guys think? Did y'all get a chance to see that chart by chance?
I didn't.
No.
Okay. We could probably pull it up if y'all wanted to, but
Love was outside of the top 10. Rodgers wasn't on there. I mean, that's
Rodgers did not make the top 10. And again, this is it. He didn't make the top 10 overall. He didn't make the top 10 overall. No, this is just for quarterbacks right now in the league. But the mechanics thing was what blew me away. When they brought it up, I just tuned it out. I'm like, okay, that's just absolutely ridiculous.
Right.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers is dropping off or not? That dude, anyone who says he is not top 10 in mechanics of throwing the football, what are we doing? You know? So, anyway, I love somebody just randomly. And thank you for the super chat, Jason Watt. Somebody just randomly said Caleb Williams is bad. Let me ask you guys this. Well, we're way off the mark here tonight.
We haven't gotten anything.
What's new, man? This is
Yeah. Did you guys hear about Ben Johnson's comments? Who was I listening to? I was listening to somebody earlier today. I think it was the McAfee show, actually. Yeah. And they said that they played the audio from Ben Johnson, and it sounds like Caleb didn't play in the first preseason week because he's struggling to pick up the offense,
Yes.
terminology and everything.
I did hear that.
And Ben Johnson said, yeah, we threw everything at him, and then we'll dilute that down. We just want to test him as much as we can. But it sounds like, Jacob, he didn't even have enough grab of the offense for them to feel comfortable putting him on the field is what it sounds like. And again, the guys on the McAfee show, the way they responded to that was they said, dang, if you put him out there and you can't even call the play, you don't even understand where guys are supposed to be, you're going to embarrass the hell out of him. You're going to kill his confidence, right? What does that tell you guys about Caleb? I'm telling you, man, elite arm talent. There's no two ways about it. But up here, there's something missing there. There's something missing. Anyway, Jacob, go ahead. And we'll try not to make nail polish if we can.
No, I won't. Already done that enough. We'll get to your super chat in a second here, Dan. I heard multiple things about that. I think even maybe Ryan commented on some sort of report that said that up until this whole last week that he couldn't get him aligned right. He couldn't even get the play calls in. He couldn't. I mean, he was struggling with the terminology to the point where they had to, we heard about early in preseason where they were stopping practice, making guys realign. Ben having a little bit of crashes out and rage outs. I would have imagined that had you, like you just said, if the mental capacity was all there, I feel like Ben, that to me sounds like a lie, Ben. We're going to throw everything at him and just overload him while we're trying to get him ready for a new season. And like that to me seems the opposite of what a guy would do if you're coming in with a brand new system, brand new coach with a new player. They complain so much that Caleb has never had consistency with the coaching staff that he's had while he's in Chicago up to this point. So why would you sit there and try to overload him, make him basically mentally fizzle out to the point where you're not even willing to throw him on the field? There may be I don't know. I smell some doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? I think
get ready to go.
Yeah, Emilio, what do you think on this, man? Because I'm kind of with Jacob. Like to me, it sounds like it was Ben Johnson almost providing an excuse before there's a reason for an excuse. Like, yeah, we really threw the book at him. Type thing.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think Ben Johnson's asking way too much right now for Caleb, and I want to say it was Greg Cosell or Ross Tucker, one of them were talking about Caleb just if he's going to start, he really needs to up the processor a little bit. He was doing good things. He was doing this good, that good. But I'm pretty sure it's Ross Tucker. Like the fact that he's not playing in the preseason games when you need to be getting reps to your players on a new offense with a new O-line and all this stuff, it doesn't make any sense. Why are you trying to hide him or pull the curtain cover over his eyes, whatever? Like that's not going to help the team in the long run. You might as well bite the bullet and take the hit. If you're worried about the media, take the hits now in preseason so that it can get shaken off and try to move forward. That's how I'd probably approach it. But I want that. I mean, if he's gonna go up in flames, it's got to happen on the field. It can't be happening in practice behind closed doors. You
know what this is the equivalent of? When me and Mandy go out to dinner and we hit up Tupelo honey or something and we bring back just the most amazing leftovers, and then Clayton wakes up at 3 a.m. and gets in the kitchen, and grabs him a snacky snack, right? It would be like her rolling out of bed the next morning, walking in the kitchen, immediately looking at her, go, I didn't eat your leftovers. That's what it feels like. That's what seriously, it's like you could tell he's a little bit on edge. And here's the other thing, Bajent, the backup quarterback, He didn't have no problem going out there, did he?
Nope.
Right.
So you can't look at it and go, the system's just too hard. They need to water it down a bit. He picked it up just fine. Why didn't Caleb? So Dan Mullen, sorry for the delay on the super chat, but I just wanted to hit that while we were on topic. Appreciate you so much, but you're too generous. He says Golden looking good off the jump and seeing LVN looking like he's taking a leap. Granted, it's mostly practice. Is what I'm really happy to see during this camp. Go Pack, go! Very well said, Dan. And again, we started to see. I'm not surprised with LVN. I'm excited because people are starting to kind of see what we talked about in the second half of the season. Remember, we were getting raked over the coals, and Ryan did a great job breaking down his episode going, man, LVN has cranked it up here down the stretch. Like, he was, I want to say the second half of the season, he was like at a 15% pressure rate.
I thought it was more. I thought it was like 16 or 17.
It may have been. But he still finished, I want to say hovering right around an 11% pressure rate, even with the slow start and having a cast on one of his hands, right, on his thumb. So it doesn't surprise me that he's looking to take that step because he's getting other opportunities running with the ones now, where in the past when Preston Smith was here last camp, you've seen it. Preston Smith was running with the ones and LVM was kind of getting the scraps, the leftovers there. So I'm excited, Dan. I love your energy, man. I think Golden – I've been a Packer fan since roughly 2003, and I can't remember a camp where we came in and go, whoa, look at this draft pick wide receiver. There's been a couple that's flashed a little bit. Like Christian Watson, you guys remember when we drafted him? Man, this guy's got elite speed. He's got size. If he can learn how to run routes and catch the ball, he's going to be dynamic, right? That was the take. Matthew Golden, you're going speed, check. Hands, check. Route running, check. Learning a system where you're a moving Z and going from semi-stack to stack and cheat motion and all those things like Sarkisian ran, check. All right, this guy looks like he's right out the box. This is a brand new Milwaukee tool, Emilio. This ain't one,
That's a fuel. No, that's a fuel version. Okay, we're not talking no basic. I mean, that's no Ryobi or rigid knockoff.
Hey,
okay.
Come on, there's nothing wrong with Ryobi.
No, but seriously, I mean, that Golden has taken off. I watched he ran like one whip route, and the dude had 5 yards of separation. It was crazy. But yeah, even on LVN's mic'd up, you could kind of see. I think Coach said it. He's building his pass rush repertoire and all that. That's you can kind of see. He almost gave the dude like a little slight hezzy, and then dip underneath, or club over hand usage. I really excited about LVN getting out there. And then even with that little interview with The Rock, he knew that defense just played really well today, getting out there and showing up for him. But yeah.
Do you guys remember, Jacob, you remember in the I believe it was this free agency, we were talking about Charvarius Ward wouldn't be a bad pickup, right?
Yeah,
at cornerback.
Yep.
This is Matthew Golden against Charvarius Ward right here. Look, whoop.
Wonderful. Ooh, I like it. I like it so much. Thank you, Dan, for the super chat. And it's nice to see Dan and other Packer fans. What's crazy about our podcast and our chat is predominantly, other than AFM, we're pretty positive, but it has been weird. I've been looking at like random Twitter accounts and Facebook accounts. There's a lot of negativity going around right now. And if you have the chance, Ryan went real hard this morning. I'm not sure if you guys got to listen. He spent a good hour and 40 minutes breaking down, because he basically did it from the perspective of a Packers fan, how we're always crying about this and that. We think we're the only team in the league that has any sort of injury issues, drama issues, salary issues. He literally went through almost every single NFL team, took time to find sound bites, press releases, Twitter posts, and showed how every single one of them thinks the sky's burning. And I mean, I kept listening. I mean, you get the point right away, and he drilled that sucker in over and over and over, and then ended it just perfectly. So if you have a chance, and if you really want to have some entertainment and really take a 30,000 foot view and look at the fact that everybody's fan base can have a little bit of that pessimism, it's just better to be optimistic. That's what preseason is for, guys. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, I've said it over and over and over. We have people come through this chat and come through this channel, and mostly in the comments. They're not in the live stream, but I'll get comments, after the show's over. And they're bashing us for being positive. And I always tell him, and I mean this respectfully, like, this ain't the show for you. I waited from February. Really, I didn't even wait. I mean, we jumped right into the tape from last year and just kept watching football year round. But I'm waiting this whole off season for the new football season. And the second it gets here, we're going to be miserable. It's just crazy. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But anyway, it was cool seeing him cook Charvarius Ward here. And listen, I know they're one-on-ones too. Most of the time, the offensive player wins these. But here he is against Colts DB Alex Johnson, I believe.
I think this is the one I saw.
Look at this. Oh, my goodness. And both throws to him as well. Not the dog on the quarterbacks too much, but they were throws behind him, right? Like they're not like on the money and him having to adjust. But again, that right there, we're going to do it, boys. We do it every episode. You ready for this? I need somebody to help me right here. I need a screenshot so I can throw the arrows on it. You know, I wish I had the arrows right now. We need a screenshot of this right here and just put cooked underneath it. That's all I need to see. But look at that. I mean, he completely turns him around. And I don't know who this DB is. He may be a scrub, right? But Matthew Golden, man.
The Colts are supposed to have such a good secondary. That's why they let Ballentine walk, even though they thought he'd be like they were stacked in the cornerback room, apparently.
The footwork, the hands, the body control, just everything with Golden, man, it looks solid. It really does. And you know the other thing too, we talk about how we want a bigger body receiver. Like we were crazy about Jaden Higgins, right, Emilio, going into the draft. There were several players that we were like Trey Harris, another one I want to say he was like 6'2", if I remember correctly. Big body receivers, they're exciting. But you know what comes with big body receivers a lot of the time? Injuries. It just happens, right? They're a little leaner typically. I mean, Christian Watson, right? You look at him, he's a wiry dude. Now he's put on weight since he's gotten here, and he's kind of stayed banged up a little bit. I think that just kind of goes with the territory when you got a bigger body receiver. These tight body guys like this, like Matthew Golden, think of Randall Cobb. How often Randall Cobb was he's just a very, very tight build, right? Just compact. By the way, Johnny Manziel was on the Pat McAfee show today. And he said, as they wrapped up the interview, he said, anything else you want to promote or whatever, Johnny? He said, yeah, we got a thing coming up, a TV show. Be on the lookout for it. And it was something Special Forces where they take former NFL players and they make Special Forces train them. He said, yeah, if you want to tune in and watch Randall Cobb kick my ass in a boxing match, check it out. So evidently him and Randall Cobb box on it, and Randall Cobb smoked his head, dude. And he said, I think he said that dude's built like a bull or something like that. It was awesome. So, again, my point is Matthew Golden kind of got that tighter frame, a lot of muscle on him, right? You know what I mean, Emilio? It just seems like that type of guy is going to stay healthy. Greg Jennings didn't have a whole lot of muscle on him, but built the same way. They tend to stay healthier, it seems like, man.
Right, yeah. Matthew Golden's kind of like a nice, solid, Toyota Camry, a nice Honda Civic, and then you got everybody else over there on their, Mitsubishi Mirage or like a key, something crazy, and that's because he's just reliable. Trust you, 250,000, no problem. Do the brakes once on it, oil changes. That's it. I mean, that's I think what we're getting from him. He's consistent and he's reliable. I think that is two huge factors of his play that are just going to carry him through the season. Because if Jordan Love can, count on him, if Malik can count on him, if you can go to him in a time of need without having to think about it. Hey, look at the hands. I mean, he's making all these catches. They're not put on the run. I mean, that's me when I'm under pressure in college football, just trying to get it out to the guy. Hopefully he catches it.
Yeah, and Jacob, I know I seen the chat light up when I said you want a guy with a tighter body, a tighter frame, a tighter build. Boy, they went absolutely nuts. So you got anything to say here on Matthew Golden before we move on, man?
Well, as a tight-bodied guy myself, in all jokes aside, I do think there is something to that where it's like they're not having to overexert themselves by carrying that extra kind of baggage. It's just not so much, impact on the joints and all that. How much do we love watching Eddie Lacy just barrel into people? The only problem is Eddie Lacy lasted like 2.5, 3 seasons before that body just said, I can't do this anymore. And it's nice to see that. I'll keep saying it over and over. I did not expect Matthew. I did not see this coming. I thought he would be a second-year pop maybe, and maybe be like a third-year developer at best. He, to me, seems like he's the real deal. He really does.
He does, man. I'm excited about it. Now, listen, we're always going to, put it out there that this is the third week of training camp, right? We're getting ready to go into your second preseason game. We may be getting the cart, before the horse a little bit. But right now, based off what we've seen, I don't remember seeing a rookie receiver with these kind of traits, personally. I think Goody might have nailed this pick, but hopefully that holds to be true. And shout out to Ryan Wood. He was the one who provided that video right there over on X. Make sure you go give him a follow. Matt Schneidman put a couple tweets out here. Now, again, we expected the offense to struggle today with everybody that was out, right? We kind of talked about that. We'll go rapid fire through the rest of this offensive segment. Matt Schneidman said, disjointed first 11-on-11 period for the Packers offense. Penalties and incompletions. One notable completion was Taylor Elgersma having plenty of time to hit Isaiah Nayer for a big gain down the left side. Understandable given Packers without quarterback and 5 wide receivers, but still not pretty. So just want to mention Isaiah Nayer. He's starting to, we talk about the checks you give people during camp. He's starting to tally them up, boys. That might be a good practice squad candidate there. Matt Schneidman said, no scuffles, but Tucker Kraft got in Zaire Franklin's face after the play. I'm standing behind big humans on the Colts sideline, so didn't see exactly what happened. Play was an incompletion where Matthew Golden ended up on the ground, so Tucker Kraft swooped in there, was ready to lay the smack down on Zaire Franklin. Again, that came out from Matt Schneidman, their little offensive update for you. Moving along now, the next tweet he put out, it's not pretty for the Packers offense today. 4 and out for the starters in the 2-minute and 3 incompletions and a sack. Sounds like both defenses are winning the day. We'll get to our defense here in a second. The big bright news of the day, though, Brandon McManus just hit a 70-yard field goal that bounced off the crossbar and in. Wasn't during a live period. They were just messing around, but he did bank a 70-yarder off the crossbar, and it bounced over. And then I think it says here, Matt Schneidman, the final update, Packers just kicked 8 field goals during live team period. Brandon McManus, good from 38, good from 41, good from 44, good from 47, good from 56. So he's perfect on the day, right? Mark, how do you say it? McNamee? Is that how we're saying that? I think that's right.
I think so.
McNamee. All right. He was good from 40, 42, and 45. So we were perfect on the day with both kickers. And I know some people kind of roll their eyes at that. Not me, man. Not after the nightmare we went through a few years ago. So anything else you guys want to add to the offensive side before we move on to defense here?
Yeah, just I love J. Cole's message. Says LMAO, McManus is just doing anything at this point. He's bored. He's like, oh, you want a 50-yarder? Yawn. All right, sure. One other thing I wanted to highlight was our resident doc here, Holmes MD, says overly muscular and powerful athletes are actually more likely to have soft tissue injuries due to exerted muscle contactile. What does that say? Contactile forces. That's kind of what so thick. Yeah.
There you go.
He is. Yeah.
All right. That's good. You got anything else on offense, Amelia, before we move on to hour 2 here, man?
No.
Good. All right. That's going to do it for hour 1. For those of you listening on the pod, we'll see you on the other side for hour 2. You're going to want to tune into this. The defense absolutely showed up and showed out at joint practice with the coach. We'll see you over there. Appreciate you.